Hello and welcome back to Kaiserreich. So I've been thinking a little bit, and I want to basically try to get into the war with, on Germany's side as soon as possible, because we currently have the Iberian Federation and the Combined Syndicates of America here breathing down our neck in the future. The Bharatiya Commune making some gains in India here, and in general, it just doesn't look very optimistic for a nation like ours to survive. Unless we, take an active part in ensuring that survival happens. So I'm going to try to improve relations here, so that we might possibly get to the point where we can join their faction. We could join the Entente, but I see no real hope in that actually surviving. Fall of Kiev, the Ukrainian situation appears dire. Indeed it does, the Polish are gobbling them up. Let's see, so we got the second squadron, yep, we got the first, and we got the U-boat squadron, and we got reserves here. A U-boat boat, I'm going to put that one into squadron. So we're restarting the Pomor trade, let's see here. After the political and economic chaos of the Russian Civil War, trade between northern Norway and northern Russia has been at a minimum. We can now attempt to reach out and re-establish a trade between the local communities in the Arctic Sea. It has been suggested that we contact local authorities first rather than the central government, as they are hoped to be quite sympathetic to our cause. Send a delegation. So this one tried to get down to the research spot. Or research slot. And cool, we got our first trained infantry division. And we'll be putting that one into the first corps. The 1940 Norwego-Russian trade agreement. I still think Norwego sounds strange. In the end, the Russian government discovered our delegation to the local authorities in Murmansk and Arkhangelsk. Luckily, they thought our suggestions have merit and have agreed to re-establish the Pomor trade. Awesome. Modify sluggish economy by a little bit. Also, I want to get involved in this stuff, and in the case that the Germans are clearly winning, which they aren't really, but in the case that they, just suddenly stomp the commune, get a second wind, and just push down and take take land and basically decide the war. In that case, I want to be on the winning side because there are some territories which Norway might want. Not that we necessarily have a just claim on these. We would if we, we wouldn't, but we would claim that we had a just claim if we were going down the fascist path, the path of, or the sort of nationalist path, the path of Norgesvelde, Greater Norway. With the Rikshirden, Øredgarden, etc., all this strange Nordic or Norse symbology and stuff. Oh, this song. Reminds me of Lavender Town in Pokemon. Probably based on this as well. We have the design company, but we do not have the focus, I think. Not yet. Let's do oil, like oil creation and stuff here. Actually, no, let's not, because that takes up a building slot, and we don't really have a lot of those. Let us instead do... Oh, we should do the decryption and encryption stuff. That is very important. This is a good Chief of Navy for us to get. We should probably actually get a... Oh, never mind, we didn't get a fighter company, did we? No. In which case we should go with Scheller. And maybe also get the... Let's see, get DNL. Oh, that's... Okay, so that one becomes available, so we don't really need that one, because that's larger ships, or larger planes, sorry. But we might want this one, because it modifies Lufthochschade by that, and gives us production cost minus 10% and just range and air attack on our fighters, which would be really, really good. Union of Britain has invaded Ireland. Naval invasion, but they got beaten back out into the sea. Very good, Ireland. Very good, Collins. Let's do a battlefield support. It is basically the best one in my opinion. We don't really have a lot of like support planes, but we might get that rolling as we get further into the war. How many divisions do we have? 10. We need 10 more to send any volunteers. Yeah, the Germans aren't doing too hot. It doesn't really help that they've pushed into France if they can't make any more gains. Because the Italians are pushing in and their Germans are losing the easy to defend territories. And also, like, if they try to recapture this, they're going to have to, like, bash their heads against a brick wall, essentially, because the Italians are holding the mountains. And also there's an encirclement. Very good. Another one. They're quite small, though, but still. Hopefully the Germans are receiving aid from their colonial... No, they're not, because they are busy fighting the Japanese, of course. Yeah, the Germans are quite, like, stretched thin right now. Qing has capitulated. Nobody, as of yet, has corrected my pronunciation of Qing, which means probably... Well, I'm going to assume that I'm pronouncing it at least adequately for people not to get very upset with me. The partisan stuff is like completely useless right now. The organization XU might do it if we, you know, somehow conquer all of Sweden or something, but I mean they're part of the Reichspakt, so that's not going to happen. Unless we join the Entente, and the Entente gets mad at Germany. You know, yes, well, I will, in fact, do atomic research. Just double check that there isn't like a Tungtvanns fabric thing here. Hoi4 or whatever it's called. The place where the, you know, heavy water was theorized could have helped the Germans achieve a goal of building an atomic bomb, or at least researching fusion in some shape or form. I can't see anything. Or fission or whatever, whichever one it is. I think it's fission actually. Well, that's Rufus. I don't know. I might be completely off. The, you know, the sabotage mission thing. I think it's also called something Foss. Foss just means fall, like waterfall. Dude, we build those fast now. And we're out of building slots. Actually, let's create an independent core here and set their border to be here where there's only mountains, and let us call it something and give them a commander. Let's give them Hans Reidar Holtermann. He has mountain experience here. Or we could give him Jakob Vinden Haug, who has planning speed bonus. Let's give him Hans Reidar. He's got more space for more traits, and he'll gain those if he fights. And create a mountain core. Let's look at the makeup of our Mountaineer division. Yeah, we did improve it, I think. So we'll call this one. Actually, what do we call it? I know. Finnmark's Battalion. Commune of Hawaii has capitulated. To whom? To the Australasians. Get those resources, possibly get some industry from other people from trading. Yeah, we get 3 factories right now from trading. Abyssinia took 3 states from Somalia. Somalia was annexed. Ethiopia here. Oh yeah, never mind. They then released them. Ethiopia is like being a bit aggressive as Haile Selassie. Pacify the Ogaden. Who are they? Ogaden state is now a core of Abyssinia. Okay. It's cool that Ethiopia has its own focus tree. Please, I would like to help you. What I could do is I could just justify a war goal and go to war with the Union of Britain, which would put me in the same war as the Germans. In fact, that would make sense, because I could make or create a war goal to attack Iceland from, oh my god, his name, Hannibal Valdimarsson. Yeah, we could do that. I think we might need the Ruge's army plan, even though I kind of like Fleischer's better, because we need that recruitable population real bad. Oh yeah, we don't need this like specialized stuff. Oh, I'm 1% or 2%. we need the recruitable population really badly, so I'm going to go with the Rugas plan. We will need Marines though if we're going to take Iceland. So I wonder what our strategic goals will be, because I don't really know how to plan for a war as a small nation, really. The first goal would be to take Iceland. Then possibly we could have our submarines operate out of Iceland to try to starve or to interdict British shipping to America, or and from America. That would deprive them of some of their oil, which would then further cripple the Republican Navy. We could possibly do this by just interdicting in the North Atlantic Ridge and the Iberian coast. The North Atlantic Ridge and the Mid-Atlantic Gap, I think, were prime spots for U-boats operating in World War II. Some as well in the western approaches, but that becomes kind of risky because in Hoi4 you can't limit them to just operating in this part of the western approaches. So they'll go in, you know, into naval bombing range. Please, I would like to help you. Oh boy, okay. Zoomed in through the sandstorm and the game lagged. Or zoomed out. As me preparing for the war then. The likelihood that they invade up here is very low, but it is still a possibility. We could potentially just prevent them from doing that by having naval bombers over here. But they have Iceland, so they might invade from over there and through here. Central America has capitulated. Right, let's do Marines. Let's stop this. And let's stop that for now. Actually, no, let's keep that one going. But only do one more. And then the next war train is Marines. Then we'll try to organize our navies here in such a way where we can potentially help or like aid a naval invasion. We might have actually invade from over here, because then we only have to secure this region, which the enemy will probably not likely operate in, and then secure this region. Fall of Rio de Janeiro. Oh my god. The Argentinian shells destroying the dome of the Candeira Church, and the Real Grandeza, or whatever, I don't know, tunnel being collapsed by desperate Brazilian soldiers to halt the Argentinian advance. With Argentinian soldiers garrisoning almost every street and columns parading on the city center, it's clear that Argentina has taken a major step in its war against Brazil. You can say that twice. Getulio Vargas is just, yeah, no, this is actually kind of crazy. With all the resources in Brazil, and I mean all this land and everything, Argentina might be poised to take over Buenos Aires Lima axis. Who is the leader? Argentina is in it. Argentina is the faction leader. Yeah, Argentina is just like becoming basically the de facto leader on the South American continent. Ruga's plan. Saudi Arabia has capitulated. Oh boy, Ottoman Empire is strong. Ukrainians are holding on for dear life in eastern Ukraine. Do we have any strategic bombers? The Russian Empire declared war on the Mongolian Khanate. Oh, here we fucking go. It's time for the motherfucking show. European direction. Whoa, Kirill, please. May I possibly interest you in, you know, just fucking not? So they're going to attack Ukraine, possibly Poland, Bessarabia, Galicia, Finland. Okay, so they're not coming for us at least. We're on friendly terms with the Russians. Yeah, this decision to attack the Mongolian Khanate, which basically is like horse gods. Their cavalry is amazing, and their cavalry, oh, like the one unit type that actually does well in central Russia is cavalry. So Kirill might feel safe in the fact that he has all his, you know, divisions and whatnot. And that might indeed be the case. He might indeed be safe, but I wouldn't be so sure. Because our situation is where the cavalry can just run around the infantry in these places, because it's so like, they're wide open spaces with basically no infrastructure, so you can't really travel. So you can easily get surrounded by cavalry that's nimble and can just maneuver in through the gaps. And then of course it's you know, the meme lord himself's cavalry. Like it's Ungern Khan's cavalry, and Ungern Khan's cavalry is so strong that, at least in past versions, they basically operated as infantry divisions for him. There we go, there's an encirclement. And there's one waiting to happen. Imagine if this world came down to a war between the Syndicalists and the Great Khanate. I'm not quite sure which side we'd be on. Oh boy, it's not looking good for Germany. I gotta like abort this plan of joining the Reichspakt. I think we gotta join the Entente. And we gotta do it fast, because we gotta set up the conditions necessary for us to win the war. But I really don't even know what those are. Also, Reformist Middle Africa has released a couple of nations. Cool. Like, they're pushing really well into France, but they're just completely losing it over here by Italy. Possibly one way to get this, get a win out of this is to quickly capitulate France. Get all those French troops to surrender, which would take a ton of manpower out of the Syndicalist side. And just free up a lot of like place or space to maneuver around here and then push into Italy, where they might not have troops. The Socialist Republic of Ukraine has capitulated, conquered by the Polish. and the Germans. Which means I guess more troops can be shifted away from that front over towards Italy. Just any situation in which troops can be shifted towards Italy is good. And the Commonwealth of Canada has made landfall in the Union of Iceland. Please, I want that for myself. Right, you know what? I'm gonna join the Entente, I think. Because either way, we're not joining the Reichspakt immediately. I kind of just wanted to do that just because all of my friends are in it. You know, Denmark and Sweden. But I guess we'll be the odd one out and join the Entente. Cuba has joined the Reichspakt. Who leads Cuba? Martin Diaz Tamayo. Military coup. Oh, he's become more he became more powerful than the president as a general, and then became the president afterwards. Interesting. Like a soft coup, maybe? I don't know. The Social Security Act. All our citizens deserve basic safety net. A basic safety net. Let us institute a system of social security for all our sick, old, and unemployed. NAV. That is the name of the Social Security institution. Where if you don't have a job, you can talk to them and they'll try to get you a job. If you don't have money, they'll, you know, talk to them and they'll try to give you some like a small amount of money to live on until you can get an income of your own, and you know, so on and so forth. If you injure yourself, they'll pay your bills, or like they'll pay you your wages, or subsidize them, I guess, so that, you know, you get paid even though you're injured and whatnot. It's a complicated system. I don't quite understand it, but there's a lot of like ways you can get help if you get messed up. Canada, please get off. That's mine. We'll have to do the king in Ottawa right after this. In fact, 20 days. How many days can you save up, and how many do you lose if you stop? 10 days. Okay, 10 days was saved. God damn it, they're gonna take it. Either way, if the war ends, we can still ask for Iceland from them. Union of Iceland has capitulated. Yep, there we go. Well, I guess we won't need those Marines. I mean, we'll still use them to invade this. And is Scapa yeah, that's oh sorry, Orkney is separate from the British mainland, so we don't need to worry about, like, if we invade Scapa we don't need to worry about infantry just walking over a straight like over here. So that's the plan then, I think. We're going to join the Entente. We're going to send Marines to take over Shetland, and we'll send Marines to take over Orkney. And then possibly we'll start bombing the Union of Britain if we can get any bombers up. And we'll start working on our nuclear technology. And then just try to leverage, you know, fire superiority where we can. And drop nukes if we have to. Nukes are way off though, they're way off in the distance. Probably not like, or sorry, probably not until like 1944 at the earliest, 1946 if we're being, or 1945, 1946 if we're being realistic. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in buying the game, there's a Humble Bundle link down below. If you're interested in reaching out to me on social media, check the Twitter link in the description. If you're interested in supporting me, check the Patreon link down in the description. Currently there aren't that many like rewards and stuff, but you can give $1 and up if you want to, and if you did, I would be greatly humbled by the generosity. though it's not necessary to give anything. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.